Welcome, everybody. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time that you felt alive? Like, not just checking something off your list, not some quick motivational hit or anything, but like genuinely felt alive. Like the version of you that shows up that matches the version of you that like you actually are deep down inside, the really authentic version of you. I know for most people, it's been a while. As a parent, an entrepreneur, someone who maybe is working away in a 9-to-5 job, like I know that there are so many things that happen throughout the day as you're going through the motions of your to-do list that could make you feel that way, that make you feel like, man, I don't know when the last time I felt alive, or like where this felt like it was me. I mean, I know that feeling because like I've been there. I mean, I've had the job, the family, the house, and all the things that you're supposed to do that make you feel like right. You know, the supposed to do's, you should have these things, but inside, like, I know I personally felt like I was drifting. You know, I kept waking up feeling like I was behind, reacting to everything through my day rather than showing up and you know, being a part of it. You know, I was pouring everything out, you know, into my work, and then coming home just emotionally checked out. I would collapse into my bed at night, and then like I would just do it all over again the very next day. Like I kept waiting for that next milestone, that thing to fix it, the next promotion, the weekend, the vacation, the trip, the whatever. But like, you know, each one of those come and go, you know, and you still feel empty inside. And if that sounds familiar, like, then here's something that no one tells you. Like, you don't need a different life. You don't need to change your life around to feel that way, to feel alive again. What you need is you just need a different playbook for the life that you already have. So you don't need to quit your job or blow everything up to start over. You don't need to move to a new city or reinvent yourself. Like, you just need simple, repeatable plays that you can run inside of your life that you're already living. Like, these are the type of plays that shift you from being in like a surviving mode or even just coasting to actually living again. And that realization, like, I know it changed things for me, and that's what we're diving into today. Now let's turn the spotlight on you for a second. You know, are you busy and exhausted and running on autopilot? Like, wondering how you became the person who's constantly pushing through the day but rarely feel really present and a part of it? Or maybe you're just drowning in those responsibilities, trying to be everything for everyone and realizing like somewhere along the way, like you lost the parts of you that were yourself that made you feel alive, the things that, reason why you started that business or you got into that job or whatever that may look like. Or maybe like you're just standing at the point where like, man, blowing up your life feels tempting, you know, but you don't have the energy, the time, the capacity for any sort of a major, you know, life overhaul. If any of that hits anywhere close to home, then hear me on this. Like, your life isn't hiding in some big dramatic change. Like the life you want, the happiness, the fulfillment, the joy, the using your gifts and superpowers, creating impact and value for people, having better relationships. It's not on the other side of some dramatic change. It's actually hiding in the small choices that you're already making day to day. And a lot of us, like, those choices look like, you know, you might be the parent who sits in their car for an extra few minutes before walking into the house. Gathering yourself, like, you know, so that you put on that like I'm fine face, even though you feel completely disconnected from who you used to be. Or maybe the entrepreneur who built the business that looks great on paper, but somewhere along the way, like the work swallowed the person. You know, you're successful, but you're misaligned, busy, and empty. Or maybe the employee who feels like they're just clocking in and out. You know, they just do their tasks as like obligations for someone else's machine, wondering like, where's the meaning like behind all this? I mean, if that's you, once again, you don't need the new life. You just need a new playbook. So what you do is like, you just need that set of daily plays that help you show up differently inside of the life you're already living. And that's what we're going to be. That's what we're diving into today. That's what we're building today, is your personal playbook that you could go do as a part of that. Now, normally I do this at the top of the video, totally forgot to. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Giver Method channel. If you're back for another one, welcome back. My name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder. I'm the author of this book. It's called The Giver Method. Everything we're covering today is going to be grounded in things directly from the book. So I highly recommend, like, I'll put a link in the description. Go get yourself a copy. Right now it's on sale for $1.99, I think, is what you can get it for on Amazon. So you either pause the video, go to Amazon and find The Giver Method by Jake Talbert, or use the link in the description. Go get yourself a copy. Maybe buy someone for someone else. It is meant for people like you and I, for parents, entrepreneurs. I mean, I've lived that sea of cubicles, corporate life, and so I know you can't just burn everything down and start over. So everything, action items, stories, exercises, worksheets, they're all designed to fit into the life that you're already living, to help you discover your gifts and superpowers and create more impact and live the fulfilled life you want with the relationships that you have. Like I said, get yourself a copy, get someone else a copy. You could be living a totally different life between now and the end of the year and have one of the best years of your life starting in 2026. Once again, get yourself a copy. Now, I know for a fact for me, like, the moment I realized I didn't need a different life, like I just needed a different way of showing up, like that's the where it shifted for me. And that's why I want it to ground for you, you know? And so there's this framework around like that sort of a discovery. You know, and this sort of thing, it helps people. Like I've helped so many people get out of this survival mode and really step back into themselves. These plays are designed for real people with real responsibilities. So it's no like 5 a.m. hustle addictions, right? It's no like burn it all down and start over. Like it's just simple and repeatable actions to help you feel alive again. And so let's dive deep into that. And like I said, if you want to go deeper into it, that's where you'll grab yourself a copy of The Giver Method on Amazon. You can also find us on all the social media channels, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, under the handle The Giver Method. You can go to thegivermethod.com. You can check out free resources like our survival mode assessment that you can take, or our guides that we have, the opt-ins, the free resources, the newsletter. Like check those things out. Now, if you want help like building your own personal playbook, like I've got some coaching spots open. Like if you're looking for that one-on-one attention, we could definitely look at what that would look like for you. There's a link down below that talks about coaching. And if you run a team, lead a community, have a podcast, a stage, an event where like this message would resonate with your audience, let's bring it to them in a very real way. So like you'll find a link down below about speaking and podcasting. And of course, make sure you do all the YouTube things. Hit subscribe, tap that bell for notifications, like the video, and then drop the comments on what lands for you as we're going through everything. So with that, like, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive in, like, and build this playbook that you need for the life that you've always wanted. Cool? So the first one, like the first play, the first thing you're going to do in your playbook, it's called the gift discovery play. All right? So you start your day with your real self. You have to ask, like, what parts of me is needed today before the world decides to start pulling you in 12 different directions? Because like most of us, like I said, I've been there, so I know the feeling. And I know a lot of you are, you roll out of bed and you already feel behind. You check your phone, you start scrolling through your email, you're reacting before you even take your first breath. Like you start your day on the defense, not realizing like you've actually you've slipped right back into the autopilot mode that you've already been in. And so that's where this like gift discovery play like that you're gonna do, it flips that completely for you. It's a 2-minute reset where like you just pause and breathe and ask yourself one question, like, what part of me is needed today? You're not trying to be everything for everyone, but you're going to choose one of your gifts, one real part of you, and you're going to like lead with that in that way today. Because here's the thing, you're the only person that has your combination of gifts, superpowers, and experiences, which means that you are the only person who can make the impact that you can make in people's lives right now. And people are waiting for you to realize that. And so you're just picking one of those things that you can do. And the wild part is like when you name your gift, what that thing is in the morning, your brain will automatically start looking for the places that you can go use it. You shift from reacting to everything to responding with intention. You stop showing up as like the really generic burnt out version of you, and you start showing up as a version that like can actually be equipped in the day, like for the day that's in front of you. So here's what I want you to do. Here's how you do this. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, just take a few deep breaths, just slow breaths. Ask yourself, what part of me is needed today? And think about like what's coming. You got a tough meeting, you got the school rush, you have the overload inbox, you've got the emotional kids, the stressed out team, the relationship with your spouse to manage, like whatever it is. And then choose one gift that fits today. And like actually you're gonna say it out loud, you're gonna write it down. What's that one? Today my gift is staying calm under pressure. Today my ability to make things simple is needed. Hey, today my gift of listening without trying to fix things is needed. Today my ability to bring order to chaos is needed. We're not looking for 5 of these things. Like you should have 3 to 5 of them that you could pull from, but like we're not looking for your whole person. Just what's the one thing, and anchor it. Write it down. Today I'm showing up as, Jake. We'll fill in your name. Someone who has the gift of blank. Simplifying the complex problems for people to understand in really easy ways. And I'll use it when, and I'm going to describe a specific moment, I'll use it my calm during the morning chaos hits. I'll use my clarity, at the 2 p.m. meeting so it doesn't go sideways. I'm going to use my encouragement when my coworker spirals again. Like whatever it is, write that thing down. Take out your phone, put out your notes app, say it out loud. Naming it what makes it real. And then if you want, you could like really take that a step further. You can use things like the concepts taught in the Giver Method and the worksheets. You could go like open up your phone and create like a gift menu, where you have like, what are the 3, 5, 7, maybe 10 gifts that you carry? And on mornings where maybe you feel foggy, pull up the menu, and instead of trying to invent something new, like think about your day and notice which gift is going to appear. When you see it, like be like, cool, there it is. I'm going to use this gift at that point. It reinforces that pathway. At night, like if you just take 20, 30 seconds and ask like, hey, did I use the gift that I named today? And what happened when I did? That reflection, it creates that feedback loop that strengthens the habit like almost effortlessly and makes it part of your life. Like most people, once again, they start their day with this blurry, exhausted versions of themselves, and then they're trying to be everything and react to everyone, and like with no real sense of who is actually showing up. So like this play, it stops that. Because like when you just stop and just say, hey, I'm going to do one gift like at the beginning of the day, like you're not hoping the best you is going to magically arrive or anything. You activate the parts of you that are actually built into you. And like there's tons of data and research that shows that when people identify like their core strengths before the stress hits, like then their resilience increases, the clarity increases, and the overwhelm drops. Like it shows up in so many different ways. It's just 2 minutes. Just ask yourself one question, one gift, one situation. That's it. Like stop living your life on this autopilot and start like leading your day with intention, not from a survival mode. And that takes us into the second play. Okay, the second play is all about turning one ordinary task into something meaningful. So this is the value play. All right, so we already did the gift play. Now we're about the value play. Like this is about making work matter again. You know, people wake up, like I said, they're dreading their work day, like before they even get there. Not because they're lazy or unmotivated or anything, like, but because like their entire job has started to feel like a list of obligations that they're just trying to survive. Like they're checking boxes, they're answering emails, sitting through meetings that just drag on, and they feel more like just a cog in the wheel than a human being. And so this play changes that. The value play is simple. Like pick one task each day and say like, how can I do this in a way that makes someone else's day easier or better? How do I create some value for somebody else? How do I do this in a way using my gifts, my superpowers, or whatever, however that may show up to make someone else's day easier or better? Once again, you're not changing your job description. You're not changing the intention behind that one. Like you're just changing the one intention behind that, like really small part of it. And when you do that, you can actually see the person on like the other receiving end. Like the work stops feeling so mechanical and it becomes meaningful again. So here's what I want you to do. You pick the one task. So go through and like scan your to-do list. Pick one thing that you're going to elevate today. Not your whole job, not every little task you have, just one moment. Ask yourself those few questions. You know, like who's the human behind this? Who's going to experience this email, this report, this meeting, this deliverable? A coworker, a boss, a stressed client, like the next person in the workflow, whatever. Like then, well, what would make their day easier? Do they need clarity? Do they need faster answers or less confusion, a bit of calm, encouragement? You know, what gift of mine naturally could fit here? My clarity, my patience, my way of organizing chaos, empathy, sense of humor, the ability to break things down, whatever. Choose the one that fits. Now do the task with the answers in mind. Like some examples would be like, instead of just like the rushed email because it's, you know, to get it off your plate, it's like, hey, writing it clearly so they won't need a single follow-up. You know, add headers, bullet points, one sentence summaries at the top. Like you know, instead of just sitting silently in a meeting, you know, that goes off the rails, like use your gift of focus. You know, open the meeting before we get started, like what's the goal of today? And then gently redirect when things drift. People will thank you. Instead of just like passing a portion of your project to the next person, it's like, hey, organize it so the next person doesn't waste an hour figuring out the whole process. Add some notes, you know, like, hey, here's what I did and why. You know, don't respond to a frustrated customer with just a canned answer. Like, use your empathy to make them feel heard. You know, hey, I can see why this is frustrating. You know, that sort of a thing changes things. Like, just use that sort of an idea. Do this for a week. You know, even if you want to take it the next step further, like, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to write out a simple, like, hey, today I made this person's day better by blank. And you do that for a week, like you're gathering real evidence that you're not just doing tasks, but creating value for real humans. Like, you know, and that deepens it. Like, you know, you could talk to people about that, even be like, hey, I tried this a different thing today. I chose this task and asked how I could make their day better. And here's what happened. And it becomes almost contagious when you share it with other people. Like, here's the concept, the core behind it. Like when you're overwhelmed or burnt out or stuck in work that feels meaningless, the fastest way to reconnect isn't by quitting your job. It's reconnecting to the human impact on the other side of what you already do. Once again, they call that like a science and behavioral science refers to this as like job craft. You know, you add the personal meaning behind the everyday tasks. You know, those who do like experience higher satisfaction without changing anything about their role. And it makes sense because like you see the person behind the task, you just naturally bring more of yourself to what that is. So think about it, just one task a day, that moment of intention and active value, like that's how it stops draining you and starts feeding you, not because your job changed, but because you showed up differently. Now our third one, like is the connection place, what I call it. And that's just 5 minutes that changes everything. It's about rebuilding the closeness at home without adding more to your plate. So if you think about it this way, most people walk through the front door at the end of the day and they're running on fumes. You're physically there, but like your brain's still at work. You're still problem solving like things from before. You're replaying your day, like all those sorts of things. Because of that, like you end up giving those closest to your family, and such, like whatever scraps of energy are left, the conversations stay surface level. Everyone manages like the household like a business, but nobody feels actually connected as a part of that. And so this play, the connection play, like it changes that with a simple shift, where you're basically choosing one person and giving them 5 minutes where like your only job is to understand their entire world. You're not trying to fix anything. You're not trying to jump to advice. You're not multitasking. You're not planning your response. You're just being present. And here's the part that people never expect. Like it fills you up too as you're doing that. Like when you give someone else 5 minutes of just pure undivided attention, it reminds you like why these relationships matter to you, why you're working so hard, like who you are on the outside of your responsibilities. Like connection, it truly is fuel. It's not just another task on your day. So what you want to do is really simple. There's a couple steps you would do here. The first one is pick one person that you're going to do this with each evening. It's going to be your spouse, your teen, your 6-year-old, whatever. Like rotate it if you want, but just choose one human that's in your life. Step 2 is like you pick that pocket of presence where it's like I'm gonna sit down together, like we're gonna put our phone in the other room. Like what is it like? Look at them and like they're the only person in your world for the next 5 minutes. Just be so in tune to what they're saying. And then step 3 is open the door to their world. You can ask super simple questions like, hey, what was the best part of your day? What's something that made you really made you start thinking today? What's been on your mind? What felt exciting or stressful today? And then let them talk. Don't jump in with a story. Don't try to fix. Don't redirect. Just be there with them. Listen. And then if you really want to kick it up a notch, you reflect back what you hear, which is really simple. You just had like hey, it sounds like you felt blank. Hey, that seems like it meant a lot to you. Like these sort of statements, like they make people feel seen in ways that they rarely are going to experience. Examples like, with your spouse, like, hey, tell me something that happened today that actually mattered to you. And then just be there. Your teenager, like, hey, what's the latest friend drama that I don't know about yet? And be curious. No lectures, no interrogations. Just listen. Maybe a younger child, like, hey, what's the coolest thing you learned today? And let them ramble about whatever it is. And then if you really want to give it a twist, like, and like I said, take it to the next level. Like, sit with them for 60 to 90 seconds with no questions, just presence. Often people, like, open up naturally when you just give them space instead of pressure. Like, you start silent. You ask them the thing, and then you make sure that you don't say a word. You don't respond. You don't do anything. 60 to 90 seconds. It's harder than you think sometimes. But here's the thing. Like, most relationships, they don't fall apart from some big blow up. They fade from tiny moments of missed presence over time. And when life is overwhelming, it's easy to become physically there, but like emotionally disconnected. So the connection play makes it possible to rebuild closeness without needing like a weekend getaway or a date night or hours of deep conversation. Like 5 intentional minutes every single day can change the emotional climate in your home. There's a Harvard study like that they've done. I believe it's like over like a 70 or 80 year period. Like the quality of your relationships is like the strongest like predecessor to like your life satisfaction. It's not your income. It's not your achievements. It's not how productive you were. Your relationships, when they get stronger, they do that through like small doses of presence, not grand gestures. So just think about that. 5 minutes with one person, like, and one goal to just understand and not fix things. That's how you like go from just coexisting to actually connecting again. How your kids start trusting the real stuff, like how your spouse stops feeling like a roommate. How you start feeling human again instead of like a machine trying to just get through the day. Now the fourth play that hopefully so far there's been some that you've been able to take away from, but the fourth play is going to be the identity reconnection play. Like this is remembering who you are underneath all the roles that you play. Because most people, like, they don't realize, but like somewhere along the way, life quietly squeezes like the you out of you. Like you become a parent, the spouse, the provider, the employee, and like everyone is counting on you, right? And without noticing it, the person you were, like before all the responsibilities, gets pushed to the background. You forget what lights you up. You forget what you enjoyed. You forget like that you used to be more than just this walking multitasking list. So this identity reconnection play is your way back. It's simple. Like once a week, you're choosing one small action that reconnects you with a version of yourself that you've put on the shelf. Not something that for your family, not for your inbox or for your to-do list. Like it's something for you. The human being behind all the roles that are being played. So because like when you reconnect with the parts of you like even if it was for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you stop moving through life as a depleted version of you and you show up as an even fuller and truer and really more energized, authentic version of yourself. And trust me, people around you, they will feel it immediately. Once again, and this isn't an indulgent play or a selfish play. It's maintenance. It's the oxygen to your life. It's what allows you to actually show up more present, more creative, more patient with the people around you than just running on fumes. And so here's what I want you to do. The first step here, you have to ask yourself a really honest question. And then you pick the thing that's going to hit you the hardest. Like what's something that I used to love that I've completely abandoned when life got busy? What's an activity that I used to lose track of time in my life because I actually enjoyed doing it? If I had 1 hour free with zero expectations, what would I want to do? And whatever your first instinct is, that's usually the right one. And then choose an action. Like choose one of those actions you can do this week. Once again, you're not reinventing your life. You're just choosing one reconnection point. Like some super simple examples. Like if you're a parent that's been overwhelmed, like 30 minutes of doing something creative, like drawing or music or crafting. Like it's not just to be good at it, but like just not to share it, like just to play again. If you're a burnt out employee, maybe you need to move your body in a way that feels good. You go for a walk, you do yoga, you go to the gym, you dance in your kitchen, like not to work out or what, but just to feel alive. If you're an entrepreneur feeling misaligned, like learn something just because you're curious. A book, a class, a documentary that has nothing to do with business or impacting your clients. Just learn to learn. If you miss nature, like sit outside for 20 minutes with no phone. Just listen to the world, without trying to optimize everything. For deep thinkers who are running on autopilot, like do a puzzle, play chess, journal a really deep thought question that matters to you. Something that wakes up your mind, like whatever these things are. And then the next part is like you do whatever it is that for you, and then you need to just schedule it on your calendar like it is a non-negotiable. You put it there, you treat it like you're meeting with a version of yourself that you've been missing. And then you're gonna track what it does for you. Like this is really the secret sauce. Like you start a identity evidence note on your phone, and after these reconnection sessions, like you're gonna write down like how did you feel after, like what did you feel during it, what did you feel after, how did you show up differently afterwards to the people around you, what changed in your energy, your patience, your presence. Like that's how your brain like learns how, like, hey, when I pour into myself a little bit, everything does get easier when I invest that time back into me. And then share that action with someone who knows you. You don't need this. We're not looking for a hype squad. Just one person be like, hey, I'm trying to reconnect with parts of myself that I've ignored. It's like this week I'm doing blank. If you notice a difference in me, let me know. Say something. Their reflection, often it's going to reinforce the shift that you're putting into place. Because when life gets busy, you slowly become two-dimensional, like a function, not a full human. And the more disconnected you become from like who you actually are authentically, like the more drained, irritable, overwhelmed, more performance mode you're going to be in, the more numb life is going to feel. Like that this identity reconnection play pulls you back into the life that, like, in a way has felt more realistic. And once again, there's data that shows that people who like maintain pieces of their identity outside their responsibilities, they've got higher life satisfaction, they've got lower burnout, they've got better, stronger relationships. Like you reconnect with something that's purely you. You don't take energy away from anything like your responsibilities. You actually get more energy to pour back in them. So that's it. One small action this week, 20 minutes, 30 minutes with, part of you that's forgotten, and you'll start having this growing notebook of evidence of like who you were when you remembered who you are, and you started utilizing that to make things better for yourself. Like that's how you stop feeling like you're walking through obligation. You start feeling like yourself again in the daily moments that you're showing up as. And that takes us to the fifth and final play. All right. This is called the overwhelm interrupt play. And so it's just 1 minute of reset when life starts spinning. Because if we're honest, like when stress hits, most of us don't calmly breathe and respond with great wisdom. We tighten up, we snap at the people we love, we shut down, we overthink, we try to power through while our nervous system is internally just screaming out loud. And none of it helps you like along the way. It just launches us into a spiral that we didn't choose. And so the overwhelm interrupt, like this play, is your way out of that. It's 60 seconds to reset, like that teaches you how to respond when stress hits with more intention instead of letting it drag you like down all day. Once again, you're not getting rid of stress because like stress happens. You're interrupting the like automatic reaction, and you're giving yourself like a doorway back into true clarity. And the wild part is like, it takes a minute. That's it. 1 minute to shift from like I'm spiraling to I'm back in control. 1 minute to stop reacting and start responding intentionally. That's the kind, like a play that like busy parents or burnt out entrepreneurs, overwhelmed employees, like you're going to crave when you start to notice the impact it has on you. Because it's simple, it's doable, it's real. It's not just this idealistic, like stay calm, you know? It's you know, someone tells you that who's never lived your life, like it's hard to take that in. It's like, no, this is how to just pause and reset yourself as a part of that. So here's what I want you to do. The first thing is you have to notice when your body's telling you the truth, because our bodies, they speak way before our brain fully catches up. So like you might feel your shoulders creeping towards your ears, your breathing getting tight, and your jaw clenching, like you might feel that knot in your stomach, or your heart beating faster, your thoughts speeding up, like all sorts of things. The moment that you feel that shift, you pause and you like say in your mind or even out loud, okay, stress is rising, it's coming. Like, and I'm consciously interrupting this. Like you're using this sentence to just break the, like when you acknowledge it, like through your brain or out loud, you're literally breaking your thought process in that moment. And then ask yourself, like, what do I need right now? Not like what would be productive or what should I feel or what does someone expect from me or whatever. It's like, no, like what does my nervous system actually need right now? Does it need like, do I need to breathe? Do I need some quiet? Do I need some space? Do I need to move? Maybe it's water. Maybe like I need to name what I'm feeling. Maybe I need to talk to someone or I need to step outside. Whatever it is. Like there's no wrong answer here. The honesty is the win. And then give yourself 60 seconds to move towards that need. You know, set a quick timer. You know, you're going to do like moving slightly in that direction of the thing you need, not trying to fix the entire day. If you need to breathe, step away for 60 seconds, take some slow, deep breaths, like, you know, in for 4 seconds and like push it out for 6. Now, if you need movement, walk to the end of the hallway, shake out your arms, do some jumping jacks in the bathroom, like release tension, like physically. If you need some quiet, go sit in your car, close your office door, step into the bathroom stall. Like just 1 minute of silence is more powerful than a lot of people think. If you need to go outside, go stand on the porch, stare at the trees for 60 seconds. Like nature regulates you faster than the screens ever will. If you need support, then text somebody. Hey, I'm overwhelmed. Like it's hitting me. Can you talk to me for just a minute? Saying what you're feeling out loud, naming it, reduces the emotional charge behind it. You know, if you need to discharge emotion, like cry, laugh, breathe out loud, like let your body release the tension. If you need clarity, write down one thing that matters right now. Overwhelm often is trying to get you a hold of like, you get 17 things to go do. Just pick the one. And when that minute is up, whatever the thing is, go back to your task. You didn't run away from your stress. You just reset your capacity to face it. And then if you need to, like one of the things that you could really do is like you have like a stress menu where it's like, okay, well, I've got these 60-second stress menu items, you know, kind of like the gifts you would turn to, where it's like, I'm going to list out 5 to 7 things that I can do anywhere. You know, if I need to, I can step outside, I can take deep breaths, I can name the feeling, I could stretch for 60 seconds, I could splash water on my face, I could walk to another room, I could text a friend I'm overwhelmed. Like write down what those are. Like on the days that you feel fried and you can't think of what it is, pull up the menu, choose one, and like just so it prevents you from defaulting to the old patterns. Like we're reprogramming our brain and how it processes these survival mode things that we fall into. Most people will let the stress hijack their entire day without even realizing that they had options in the first place. And so this overwhelm interrupt like play gives you your choice, your agency back. It reminds your nervous system like you're not powerless. You actually have, you know, more influence on how you respond, even when life gets chaotic. Once again, like even like the science, the neuroscience out there about this, like it backs it up by like naming what you feel and taking small aligned actions, like lowers the stress activation things that you have in your mind within seconds. Like clarity returns, patience returns, your ability to make decisions returns. Like I said, it's just 1 minute, one need identified, and one small action towards that relief. That's it. That's how you could shift from surviving the day to actually steering it, even when everything around you feels overwhelming. Now, here's the real truth that most people never hear. Once again, you don't need a different life here. You don't need anything. You just need a different way of showing up in the life that you have. You need the playbook that's going to help you do that. These 5 plays help you do that. It's not about big reinvention. It's not about the dramatic restart. It's not about a giant leap, you know, for the energy you don't have. It's just simple, repetitive tasks, these plays that help you feel like you again. Because the life that you've always wanted isn't built on some massive breakthrough or the next milestone. It's built on the small decisions that you make repeatedly, like every single day. It's built from choosing intention over autopilot. It's built from activating your gifts that you already have instead of waiting for the circumstances to magically change. So that's your invitation. Pick one of the plays we talked about. Run it this week. Don't do all 5. You don't have to do them perfect even. Just pick one. Like the one that hits your chest the hardest, the one that would make you today or tomorrow feel even slightly different. That's your starting point. Naming your gift before the date, making one personal experience, 5 minutes of presence, reconnecting with a version of you, the 60-second interrupt if you go into those spirals, whatever it is, one play, one small shift, one moment that reminds you that you're not as far away from your life, from the life that you want as you think. And if you want to dive deeper into these concepts, if you want to the full framework of how these plays really help you to rebuild your purpose and your energy and meaning and confidence from the inside out, then that's where you're going to want to use the link in the description to go get yourself a copy of The Giver Method on Amazon. You go to givermethod.com as well, you can get access to it, but like I said, use the Amazon link. It's the easiest, and right now it's on sale. Everything I teach is designed to help you live from your gifts instead of exhaustion. And if you want personal support, building your own playbook, then I've got some coaching spots you could check out. There's a link in the description. If you run a team, host a podcast, lead a community, have an audience that needs this message, then let's talk about how we could bring it to them. There's a link about speaking and podcasting. Before you go, make sure you've done the YouTube-y things, hit subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, like the video, and comment which of the plays you want to start with. And listen, because this part matters. You are not behind, you are not broken, you're not lost. You're just operating without the plays that actually fit who you are. Once you start running the right plays that are aligned with your gifts, your energy, your purpose, your value, everything shifts. Not in some giant dramatic ways, in the small and steady, deeply human ways that you can do every single day. Once again, one play at a time, one choice at a time, one ordinary moment, turned into something meaningful. That's how you build the life that you've always wanted. It's from the inside, the life you already have. You're so much closer than you think, and people are waiting for you to realize that. So let's go and do that. When you do, I promise you, the universe will always have a way of paying you back. When you find those gifts and superpowers and you start giving them without expecting things in return, you will get things in return, just because that's how the universe works. So hopefully you've been able to take some stuff away from this video. Check out the other videos on the channel for other resources, other things like that. Check out thegivermethod.com, and hopefully we'll catch you in one of our upcoming videos. Have a great rest of your day.